What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, I want to talk about Christian Mbilli. Now, here's a fighter that I think he's French, and I sat back the other day and I saw him fight before. I started watching some more of his fights and breaking his style down. Now, every so often somebody comes along that they want to say is the new Mike Tyson. You know, they did it with Muhammad Ali, Ray Leonard. There's always somebody that they want to call the new former legend, okay? Like, is this person going to be as good or whatever? And I just feel like it's really not necessary to do. The hype behind you calling someone the second coming of someone else and all of that type of stuff, it backfires and puts a lot of weight on the shoulders of that particular fighter. I don't really concern myself with that, though. Now, when I look at him as a fighter, he looks good. You know, he looks solid. His fighting style, he puts pressure on you, and mostly, you know, he doesn't have Mike Tyson's movement really, or Mike Tyson's type of footwork. He just comes in. He has his own style. You know, I don't know if he has copied, like really learned things from Mike Tyson, or just things that they worked on in the gym that his trainers have showed him. But, you know, that hook to the body to an uppercut with the same hand, you know, right hook to the body to turn to a right uppercut, that's something that Mike Tyson was known for doing. But he's a pressure fighter, and he comes to break you down. Now, stylistically, like I said, his type of style is a problem for people that can't handle pressure. I haven't seen him fight anybody that's mobile, that can move, that can stick and move, that's a thinker, someone that's not, you know, really intimidated by the pressure. Even if they weren't intimidated beforehand, they wind up getting hit and started to get intimidated. I haven't seen him fight anybody like that. Now, he fought against what's the guy's name? The guy that fought Triple G, and he also fought Jamal Charlo, Deverenchenko. He fought him, and there were no knockdowns in that fight. That fight went the distance. Now, he won the fight, unanimous decision, but Deverenchenko is way past his prime on top of that. So I watched that fight. His experience is what got him through that fight. But, you know, at no point did he take over the fight. Was he, like, really winning the fight? Christian Mbilli pretty much dominated that fight. But when I look at the 168-pound division, it's not a lot of people there. And with no Benavidez being there, no David Morrell being there, the biggest challenge he would have in order to even secure a fight with Canelo, if this is something Canelo would want to do, would be against Caleb Plant. So we know that Caleb can move and Caleb can box, but this would be, you know, a test that he would need to solidify himself, you know, as not just the top of the division, but to get that notoriety. It's like, you know, this guy's for real, because it looks like he's ready for any of those guys. But it's what I'm saying. I haven't seen him fight against guys that can really box and move, or someone similar to himself that can take it and give it. But looking at what the division has, that's my whole point. Being that those fighters aren't there, and with the exception of Morrell and Benavidez, you know, with them, you know, being gone now, it's like, well, like I said, the one person that he can, you know, prove that against is a guy like, you know, Caleb Plant. He's 29 years old, 28 wins, 23 knockouts. And nobody that he's fought so far is as good as Caleb Plant, you know, or Canelo. And so this is where you got to look at who's who he's beaten. And that's how I look at things. I don't just start jumping the gun right away. A lot of times a guy look like he's ready, and maybe on any given night he could have fought one of those guys and beat them. Just say we don't know. And when I look at him, yeah, you know, he looks solid, man. I haven't seen him fight anybody yet where he came close to losing or was almost knocked out. I haven't seen that happen. So Is this a fight? And I say this because would this be a fight that Canelo would even entertain? Because he fought Munguia, and he fought, what's the other guy? Bottom line, this guy, Christian Mbilli, would destroy both of those guys. I don't see Jaime Munguia being able to do anything with him. The other dude he fought, man, I forget his damn name. Eddie Hearn's guy, but he fought him, and neither one. That guy's a prospect, man. You know what I mean? So I would look at Christian Mbilli and say, you know what? I would target guys that Canelo has fought, like a Munguia and the other dude name, for whatever reason I can't think of his name right now, but because his performance, your performance is always going to be compared. Because I don't see Canelo really picking this guy going, you know what, let's fight Christian Mbilli. I really don't see that shit. I don't even think Caleb Plant wants to fight this guy. I think it'll be more of a thing of them, trying to get their team to reach out to, hey man, why don't we want to fight? What would it take to get a fight with you guys? That's what I see. I don't see Caleb Plant handpicking this guy. I don't see Canelo doing the same thing either. So if you go out there and you destroy former Canelo opponents or former, or Caleb Plant opponents, that's what it may take. And especially when I look at the fact that this dude is 29 years old already, he might be a fighter that both of them might want to stay away from. And one thing that's not fair about boxing, though, is when you haven't had the names yet, that's what people start saying. But it's like, well, yeah, you say he ain't fought nobody, but nobody wants to fight this guy, man. Nobody's calling this dude out. Now, like I said, Derevianchenko was past his prime, and his experience is what kept him in there. And this is what I'm saying. Derevianchenko, when he fought Triple G, most people thought that he beat Triple G in that fight. But, at the end of the day, like I said, man, he's past his prime, and he was able to go the distance with him. His experience is what kept him in there. Derevianchenko is not trash at all, but he wasn't able, just like, for example, Triple G is way past his prime, but he hung in there with Canelo the last fight. And people got to understand that. They talk about the trilogy, yeah, but Canelo was still several years younger than Triple G. So at that point, we knew Triple G was done. In fact, I remember people on my channel, we were talking, we were saying, I don't think it would be wise for Triple G to fight Jamal Charlo at this point, because at the end of the day, Triple G is not the same fighter, man. And I think Jamal Charlo would have beat the shit out of Triple G. I really believe so. And this is why, and remember, this is before he went up to 168 on top of that. And Triple G just didn't look the same. And this is why also when I look at Canelo, and I say, yeah, people try to camouflage the fact that they had the trilogy, to make it like, yeah, they had 3 great fights, but at the same time, people want to overlook. It's no different from Duran and Ray Leonard last fight, when, Leonard was 33 and Duran was 38. You want to throw that third one in there as if, this was an Ali Frazier situation, but it wasn't, because Ali and Frazier are pretty much around the same age, and, they had 3 great fights. That Leonard-Duran 3 was a stinker. That's why they never want to talk about it, never want to show it. They both were booing Leonard and Duran in that fight, because Leonard was dominating and couldn't get him out of there. It was one of those fights. It was like, wow, it was a stinker of a fight. Okay, you can't compare that. Holyfield and Bo had 3 great fights. Holyfield coming in with the last fight, the damn flu, whatever. But bottom line, they had 3 great fights. Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti had 3 great fights. That third, and this point, what I'm saying is no situation where somebody else is 5, 6, 7 years older than the person that they're fighting, and it just, you know what I mean? That's not what happened. That's not what happened. But yeah, like people want to make excuses for Shane Mosley for losing to Floyd Mayweather. They didn't have a trilogy, of course, but bottom line is just like, no, his age only came up when it was against Floyd. Against anybody else, his age had nothing to do with it. But when it was Floyd, and remind you, he had just knocked out Margarito. And everybody was praising Mosley for that. And I said, well, he should have won, and I'm glad he won. But Margarito was nothing special. Margarito was nothing but a flat-footed guy that cheated. Yeah. A volume puncher, sloppy fucking motherfucker had 2 left feet, man. I mean, he was nothing special about no fucking Margarito. But, people like to build up who they want and try to tell you who's who. And when I watched that shit, I'm like, okay, cool. He did what he was supposed to do. But Yeah, bottom line is I don't, look, here's the thing. If you can fight Jaime Munguia after you sat here and put both your feet in your mouth and said you don't fight Mexicans because you represent Mexico and you're Mexican, all that shit, but you fought a Mexican in Jaime Munguia. But then you want to turn around and make excuses like you said. I do what I want and I ain't Mexican. Yeah, right. And that's what he says. And that's why I'm like, is this a fight that Canelo would entertain? See, one of the things I know is when you start talking like that, people can talk all the shit they want. But you start ducking people, just like John Jones ducking my man in the UFC. And everybody, yeah, but John Jones is done. So yeah, I know what he's done. But see, here's the thing, John Jones, you can't go around saying I'm the best fighter. I'm still pound for pound the best fighter in the UFC, but you're hiding behind what you've done, hiding behind a reputation. No, go out and fight that man. Go out and fight that man. And if you're not willing to fight him and you're claiming I'm the best, okay, but you still got to beat the best. That'd be like the Chicago Bulls saying, we the best basketball team in the fucking league. We got shit. No, Michael Jordan's version of the Bulls has 6 rings. You motherfuckers ain't got shit. Stop lying. Can't hold on to that. And that's what I'm talking about. You got fighters that don't want to fight certain fighters because I've accomplished this, I've accomplished that. They're not planning on retiring. They just want to stick around, hold the division up, and then maybe there's a huge payday fight left, before I go, and I'm going to go out saying I fought everybody. No, you didn't. Then here's my thing. If anybody, and that's why I said, I would rather see this guy Mbilli, if he can't get that fight with Canelo, he can't get that fight with Caleb Plant, I would target people that they fought already. Because it's like, let's look at what Canelo did to Jaime Munguia. Now watch what I do to him. And I don't know why I can't remember this dude's name, man. The other guy that he fought afterwards. Puerto Rican guy. But bottom line is that's what I would target, those guys. And if people say, yeah, man, but the motherfuckers already, Canelo beat them. Exactly. But he didn't beat them the way I did. You understand? He didn't beat him the way I did. And we know it, Canelo went from making excuses about David Benavidez being Mexican and why he didn't fight until he wasn't nice to me. He was very mean and disrespect. Like, wow. So now we're in our feelings because a motherfucker finally got sick of this shit. David Benavidez and his father was nothing but respectful to Canelo in the beginning. And I felt like to a fault because I'm like, man, you trying to play this tread light shit. Don't want to turn him up, man. We fighters. We don't have to like each other. You can hate me for all I care. I'm going to knock your ass out. It don't make a difference whether I like you or not. You understand what I'm saying? I'll fuck you up either way. That's the point of the fight, man. But if I don't like you, it's even worse for you. Because where I might wave the ref to come stop it when I'm beating up somebody who I don't dislike, I ain't gonna wave the ref for shit. I'm gonna break every part of you. I'm gonna knock bone marrow. I'm gonna knock your fucking skull off. You understand what I'm saying? We're not coming here to play nice. So he not nice to me. He's very disrespectful to me. He not talk to me nice. Wow, he don't talk to you nice. Okay, and that's where you don't want to fight. All right, cool, man. Stupidity, man. But yeah, I mean, so this is a guy, 29 years old, and it's like I'm telling you, this generation of fighters, they're moving very slow. That's why when you see people like Abdullah Mason, guys like the Devin Haney or Keyshawn Day, like guys that's trying to make these strides now, yeah, why not? Because it seems like all these guys that just pop up out of nowhere, they're like 29, 30 years old by the time you finally start to get some, get a little bit of recognition. And then by the time they start to get the fights they want, 33, 34, 35, like, come on. We watched, what's this dude? Demetrius Andrade. He had a belt and all that, but by the time he got the Benavidez, man, this dude was already washed up. Let's be real. He was pulling punches from behind his back, trying to sit on his punches. He didn't have power. He didn't belong at 168. And that's why some fighters are going to have problems. Why? Because once you outgrow a division, and one thing for sure is when you lack power, and now you at a point where your mobility is gone, and you're not really defensively or really really have impeccable defense, you're going to have problems. Because where you can't knock guys out and you can't get out of the way of their shots, you can't avoid their shots, you're getting hit, and they're running through your punches, you're going to have problems. So Demetrius Andre is like 168 was too big for him, bottom line. Benavidez made it look so easy. He's like, and honestly, man, it looked like he just like, let me just strategically break him down. Like, he didn't jump on him like just like an animal, man, just terrorize him. He just beat him up. He just boxed him and beat him up. And it was just too little too late for Demetrius Andre. And this is what I'm saying about these fighters, man, when they come out here and they finally start to get a little recognition, because trying to be nice and play by the rules, and nobody's saying you got to act like some fucking maniac, man, but like, these fighters need to start calling each other out. Like, let's fight. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not here to go back and forth with you on X, shit talking. I want to fight. Simple. And people say I'll fight anybody, but then they don't fight the guys that is there. And I'm pretty sure with this guy Christian Mbilli, it'll be high risk, low reward type of situation, because now boxing is all about, okay, this is what I see with boxing. I will fight the biggest shit talker, right? I beat the biggest shit talker. It has nothing to do with his skills in the ring, but just the fact he talks shit. He got notarized by the public by that, and I beat him. And then I'll fight guys that have some respect on their name, but they're past their prime. I'll fight guys who's, even if I get in there with two guys that have respect on their name and actually is still good, what's going to happen is you guys better enjoy it while I'm still young, and before I get in that particular financial bracket where now this guy's not on my pay scale. I need to fight guys on my pay scale. Well, you don't have 10 guys on your same pay scale. Now you're in a position where there might be one guy in your division that's on your pay scale. That fight can't happen for whatever reason. And now the other 3 or 4 guys that might be in your pay scale, or 2 out of 4 guys, is 2 or 3 divisions up. Or a division up, but you're not making any rush to go up there. See, this is exactly what's happening in boxing. So now by the time they get there, maybe those other guys have moved up in weight. So now you're reduced to just one person on your pay scale. It makes about as much sense as a guy turning down $2 million then go fight for $200,000. It makes as much sense as a guy who just made $100,000 last fight turned down $2 million. You understand? It makes no sense. So that's why even like when you hear Keyshawn Davis say, y'all guys better enjoy me while I'm here. He's not talking about just, like when I retire. He's not retiring anytime soon. He knows that as long as his stock goes up, once your stock go up, you get into that fucking financial bracket where, guess what? Guys that you know was trying to fight that wouldn't fight you, now you're in a position where you're not fighting certain guys simply because they're not on your pay scale. And this is why when we talk about the sport of boxing, man, it's like when you hear me say, like, what the fuck happened to boxing? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean. What happened to boxing? Like, what happened to boxing, man? Because this is bullshit what we're dealing with this sport. But this is where people are not paying attention to what's actually going on. I don't care who you like and don't like. It's not about that. I don't care about who you fans. I don't care about none of that. You guys know Aries is nobody's fan. It's just about the right thing to do. And I tell you what, for all you idiots that like to argue about your favorite and protect your little boyfriends, I guarantee you, if I was a judge, you want me as a fucking judge, because Aries, that'll be the one time all of a sudden now I want Aries. Why? Because Aries is going to call it right down the middle, man. The best chance of my black ass staying free or whatever is him, because he's going to call it like it's supposed to be called. Otherwise, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to sit back and you're going to put yourself in a position of playing favorites for somebody just to end up, not, making the right decisions. And that's what you guys do. Nobody cares about who you like and don't like. We're talking about the right thing. So I can see Canelo fans, that guy not ready, motherfucker. How we find out is by fighting. That's how we find out, by fighting. We don't find out by predetermining fights. We find out by them getting in there. So yeah, is this a fight that Canelo will ever take? Is this a fight that Caleb Plant will ever take? I asked that question because this dude is a threat. So we will see how good he is, exactly how good he is. Is he on that level? We know he can beat B and C level guys. Okay, can he be the A level guy? Can he be the B plus level guy? Matter of fact, no. We know he can beat C and D level guys. We don't know if he can beat A and B level guys, but it looks like he's ready. It looks like he's ready, and this is why I'm saying, let's see. Why are people so afraid of a challenge? Why are people so afraid of real competition? So I don't give a fuck about Caleb Plant fans or Canelo fans. Oh, this nigga ain't. How the fuck do you know that? We don't know this. We don't know this. And you feel real stupid if Caleb Plant took the fight and then got knocked the fuck out. You feel real dumb if Canelo took the fight and then got knocked the fuck out. Then it's like, how the fuck? Oh, you know what? Canelo's old now. Yeah, Caleb's old. Those excuses. I'm not saying he beats Caleb. I'm not saying he don't. I'm not saying he beats Canelo. I'm not saying he don't. I'm saying this is a guy who I want to see what he's made of against guys like that. And that's the only way you find out. And I can see the talent in this dude. This is what I'm saying. Like, I know he has times where, like, the one thing about him, he tries to knock you out with every punch. A guy that can box and move, that's precise with his punches, that can land, get in, get out. I don't see that guy at 168. I don't see that guy. So this is what I'm saying. The fact that Christian Mbilli tries to knock you out every punch, a lot of times, especially that left hook, he wings that shit so hard, you feel like, but I've never seen him run out of gas yet. So that's another thing. But what I'm saying with a guy that tries to knock you out every punch, it gets to the point where if they're being outboxed, they start to get desperate. And they just load up, load up, load up. But that pressure, and one thing about Caleb Plant, you got to understand, this is what I think. I think his pressure would bother Caleb Plant. And if Caleb Plant gets tired like he's known to do, Caleb Plant's probably going bye-bye, man. And if he doesn't go bye-bye, he'll probably lose a unanimous decision, because that's the one Achilles heel that I've seen with Caleb Plant, is that he just gets tired, man. And you know, Caleb, smart with his movement. Everybody I've seen this guy fight so far, Christian Mbilli, is flat-footed. And they all go to the ropes and lay there and get pummeled on. I haven't seen, like I said, that smart fighter that can stick and move yet. And that's what I want to see. Why do we always have to have guys who got to be like 45 and know before they get a fucking title shot? Why do we always got to have guys, you know, fight make-believe fighters that's not there? No, he has to fight who's there. And if these guys don't want to fight him, doesn't that tell you something? And anytime somebody's labeled high risk, low reward, that's because that fucking person that's holding the belts, they see danger. Instead of them going, yeah, I want to fight him, they're like, all right, how much money will I get fighting him? Oh, the same as fighting this guy? Oh, well, let me fight this easy guy. That's what boxing has come to with these guys, man. And you see it. You see it. And I'm telling you, the management, tell them that shit, man. You don't need this dude. Just fight this guy. Yo, that's easy work. 20 million. That guy right there, easy work, another 20 million. That guy right there, you got 3 fights ahead of you right now. That's $20 million easy each fight. $60 million. You want to focus on this dude right here. This dude is a killer. He's a shark. You going to make the same money fighting him. Man, say that motherfucker for last. If he keep winning and it becomes a mega fight, then y'all get together. Y'all don't know that that's what happens? Y'all don't know that that shit happens? Because your fucking team, you are their meal ticket. You lose, they lose. So they want to keep you winning. And this is what starts happening. It's like I'm telling you, right now, Keyshawn is the hunter. At some point, if he keep winning, and he, like I said, he get in that situation, Ron Boots, all these guys, Bam Bam Rodriguez, all these, if they get to that position where they become the cash cow, the very people right now that's talking about how nobody want to fight them are going to be saying, oh man, he's ducking. It's going to happen, because that's the business model of boxing. And Canelo, we know, is on the tail end of his career as well. Like, how much longer Canelo want to go? We don't know how much longer he wants to stick around, but most of these dudes, especially when it's somebody that's really dangerous, they don't want to go fight somebody 10 years younger than them. And they get to the point where I'm still winning, but I'm not the exact same fighter that I used to be. They don't want to do that shit. They're not gonna come out and tell you that shit, but they don't want to do that shit. And then you got a guy like Christian Mbilli in a situation where there's no names in his division, so now he has to go up and wait. And it might be the best thing for him, it might not. But at the end of the day, once again, I ask the question, is this a guy that Canelo would entertain fighting? Is this a guy that Caleb Plant would entertain fighting? And here's the deal. If Canelo was to fight Caleb Plant in a rematch, regardless to who wins, right? Somebody gets eliminated from that position that they're in. Where does a guy like Christian Mbilli come in? Because I don't see what the fuck Jaime Munguia did to deserve a shot. He definitely didn't even deserve it. Edgar Berlanga, that's the motherfucker. What the fuck did Edgar Berlanga is another come up. That's the type of guys that Christian Mbilli, if he fight these guys, yo, this motherfucker went 12 rounds with Canelo. I knocked him out. I stopped him, or I beat him worse than Canelo did. This motherfucker right here, both of them. I knocked this dude out way faster. I did, so hey, guess what? What's up? What's up, Canelo? I'm here. What's up? Right? He goes out and knock out Caleb Plant. Big deal. Right? That Canelo knocked him out in 11. What if he knocked? Same thing, right? This is the formula Pacquiao tried to do. He fought he was fighting these leftovers. He was fighting guys that Floyd already beat. And people would say, but he beat him in a more astonishing fashion. Difference is we know the type of boxer Canelo that Pacquiao is, and we know the type of boxer that Floyd is. And pretty much stylistically, the way he did it was more impressive to people that he, in terms of the knockout, came quicker, but he couldn't beat Floyd. Now, in this situation, this is my point. If this dude is going ahead and knocking out all these guys, and let's not forget, Floyd manhandled Marquez. Pacquiao has never, ever even came close to beating Marquez as decisively as Floyd beat him. So we knew Floyd can beat you whether it's knockout or decision. Pacquiao can beat you whether it's knockout or decision. So let's take the two best and let's see what happens. And we saw what happened. Like a sparring match, man. Easy work for Floyd. At the end of the day, though, history repeats itself at times, right? We need to see. And this dude is explosive, and he's going to come at Canelo. He's not going to go backwards. Now, Canelo has positioned himself to not want to go backwards anymore, but come forward. So this fight would be a fucking brawl. This fight would be a stalemate. And to be honest with you, between the two of them, we've seen Canelo fight Triple G that way. We've seen him have a fight where he kind of was trying to be on the back foot at times. He was, shit like that in their first fight. We haven't seen him fight like that since. We've seen him just coming forward. So, bottom line, veteran experience will allow you to do things that you normally, don't do, but it's in you. You know how to do it. You know why you're doing it. You know what to do. Whereas another guy might be one-dimensional. I haven't seen Christian Mbilli do anything different. Now, does Canelo fight smart, or does Canelo fight off ego and go in there and then fight in a style where it's not benefiting him in this particular fight? Because he walks everybody down. And here's a guy, they look like they're around the same height, however, saying like they're very similar in size and height and all that. So just saying, they both can punch. We know Canelo can take a punch. This guy appears to be able to take a punch as well. But guess what? This is what boxing is supposed to be, man. The best fighting the best. And I don't care about popularity. I don't care about what you haven't. He hasn't won titles yet. He's not getting opportunities. So, winning these like subtitles, okay, cool. But now, it's the ability that I look at. I'm not looking at, what people say or what people think. I'm looking at the ability that the fighter has. When I look at this guy, Christian Mbilli, I just feel like this dude was a problem at 168. And Canelo sees it, and I'm pretty sure Caleb Plant sees it. But one thing that Caleb Plant also has to understand is what I said too. There's not many names at all there. So there's nobody else that's there that he could fight that you could really say is more deserving of a fight even with him. Same with Canelo. When we already saw you fight Plant. So if it's for namesake, yeah, he'd probably fight Plant in a rematch over this guy. This dude looks dangerous, and I like what I see. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. I will catch y'all on the next video.